Hello, my name is Mariana Santiago, and welcome to my podcast, Is Mariana Making Sense? You decide. Episode number 5. I create my own reality. And I feel like all of us have always wanted to change something about our reality. It could be small, it could be super big. We could be happy, we could be sad with whatever we have, but I feel like we always have somehow kind of one reality that we want to change. And if you don't, bravo and kudos for you. But I think if we're honest with ourselves, we do have one little thing that maybe we could change for better, I would say. But I think most of the times we don't know how to make this change. I feel like you could have people that also maybe it's complaining all the time. They don't like the lifestyle that they have. But the thing is that all the changes that we want to make in our life, it comes from us. It comes from within, and it comes from the action that we take to make that happen. I feel like also many of us create or think and believe that the future it's already set up, that everything it's already there, and we just trust that either God, the universe, will make it happen. But the things that we don't have control of it, but the things that we do have the control to change our reality. It's like if you do the exact same thing every day, you're going to get the exact same results every day. But if we change something to make it a bit different, we will be able to see that difference. So I feel like one of the main things that we're going to take out of this episode is that if we want to change, we need to change from within. It's like they say a tree doesn't change its leaves or its flowers or anything if you only cut the branches. You need to change the roots. You need to change the main part of the tree. And in order to provide or to grow different things. And that's when your reality completely changes. Because we are not doing anything complaining about something that I don't like here, I don't like there. If we're not changing anything inside of us. Again, if you do the exact same thing every day, how do you expect to see a change there? I feel like the best examples is that let's take a good example. When we want to buy, let's say, a puppy, or we're hesitant if we want a pet or not. All we see around us is puppies and people super happy to the point that we're like, oh my God, the world is showing me all of this constantly. But the thing is that we, without noticing, took the decision to have a wider sight and see those things, to start noticing the things that we actually want. And I feel like another example on the bad side would be how somebody's complaining all the time, saying, oh, everything happens to me, I do everything wrong. It's like we're calling for it. It's like we see a situation where we can't screw it, and we go and do it. And again, I'm not saying that we're doing it on purpose. I'm not saying that we're doing it intentionally. Sometimes we don't notice, but that's what we do. So I feel like one example that it came to my mind, but I think it goes to example that I did before, is that if you're doing a green juice, if you're doing a recipe, if you don't change absolutely anything about that recipe and you make that exact same recipe all the time, it's going to taste the same. But if you change something, I'm not saying that you have to change the entire plate. I'm saying you have to change one small ingredient to start, maybe. And then the result will be different. That plate or whatever you did, it will taste different. But again, it's what we want. It's what comes from within. It's what we really, really feel. It's like how they say about manifesting. I'm still learning about manifesting, but I know a lot of people sometimes it's like they write what they want, they write what they wish, and then they say, oh, this doesn't work. But the thing is that we actually call in what we want from the inside. So if we're complaining all the time, we're not changing anything in our world, and we just go to this book or we just meditate for a little bit and say, I want this to change, but we actually, again, don't do anything about it, nothing is going to change. So I feel like as we say, or in Venezuela, you can't say things out of your mouth outwards. I mean, you gotta feel it. Like you're complaining all day and you're saying, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do this, but you didn't do anything about it. Nothing is going to change. And I feel like one great phrase or saying from that I heard on a workshop with Tony Robbins was that you are, listen to this, you are the person that you are when no one's watching. So yes, you could say again, I want to do all of these things, I'm going to do all of these things, but if you get home and no one's watching and then you forgot about everything you said, that's the person that you actually are. And that's when we have to understand and align everything through whatever tool that you use, whatever is it that it works for you. Either if it could be working out, it could be talking to a friend, it could go to a therapist again, or like meditate, whatever it is that works for you, we have to align mind, body, and soul in order to make that change happen, to vibrate, to come from within, to actually want and act on it to see a different result. So that's why I believe like we create our own reality, and we can try it any day, any given day, with one small change, how everything looks different, how everything tastes different. So I feel like once we nail that, once we do that, we can find that path of happiness, of peacefulness, and where we see ourselves fully happy. And when we reach that level of consciousness, when we reach that level of conscience, we can identify, and I think, how we can get out of the matrix. And I'm referring to the matrix of everything that we've been taught, everything that we've been doing on a daily basis, like go to work, do this is what you have to do. Society says that you have to do this. And we're on a roll, right? We are on this day-to-day thing, and we don't notice that sometimes weeks go by, months go by, and we're doing the exact same thing. But when you're that aligned, when, how they say, like, you are able to see things through your third eye and see wider, actually look at the different like glitches in the matrix, let's put it that way, you can realize how connected you are with yourself, and when you are kind of like falling back into that routine. And it has happened to me. I mean, it has happened to me that sometimes I'm like working on myself, creating things, doing all of the things that I said that I would throughout the month, but sometimes I don't notice, and I'm like on the roll again, on the loop. I'm like running. I said yes to everyone, and I'm running. I'm not doing my meditations. I'm not doing everything that I said that I would. But the important thing here is to identify those moments, and as I call them, damn, I'm falling into the matrix. And then I go and take action and start either that day, the next day, or the week after. But I do it. I make that change in order to see the result that I want to see. And I feel like this matrix could be, or it is, different for everyone, depending on where you come from, where do you live, what your reality is. Because my reality, it's not the same reality as all of you. So we have to know how to identify those moments where we can get out and work on our growth, work on seeing the different things that society has put out there for us. And as I talk with a great speaker called Leonardo Moran, he says you gotta notice those different, like those coincidences, those different things that happen in your life, because sometimes it could be God, it could be the universe that sent us a bunch of signs, and we see them, but we don't take them and make an action with it. So I feel like have your eyes wide open and see how we can actually control our reality today, tonight, tomorrow, the year after, for the future, and identify when you are on the loop and in automatic mode. I feel like that's how we learn how to create our own reality. So I hope this made sense to you. I hope this is a message that you would like to share with your friends. And thank you so much for being here. And yeah, if you can share, subscribe, and see the benefit on this lesson of the day on how we create our life and how we create our own reality, share with the world. Thank you so much for being here. Bye bye.